Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the International Paddock Podcast. My name is Andrew Gatton, and once again, I am joined by my four lovely co-hosts. I'm just going to go and unmute them. Alright. Jamie's busy flying a plane. He's landed in Perth, I believe. Jamie, have you landed?
I'm on very short final.
Very, very short final. He's about to touchdown, I would assume. And we're also joined by Mr. Mike Wallace.
How do?
Hello. And we've got Sambo, who's live from his uni accommodation. Hello.
Yes, excuse the echo.
Yeah, there's no echo. You actually sound perfectly fine. You're
That's
alright.
fine. It just sounds like there's a massive echo on my end.
Probably from me, to be honest. Probably from me. We had a lot of action in the racing world over the weekend, and we got most of it covered for you, except from NASCAR, because fuck it. Let's have a little chat about this headline event over the weekend that we said was going to be VIR. We've also got coverage from the British Touring Cars from Mr. Mike, and was it World Superbikes?
British.
British Superbikes as well to add to the mix. So Mike's going to cover that for us as well. We've also got IndyCar being covered by Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
And Jamie's going to cover the F1, but you know, it's F1. We don't care. So, without further ado, let's get started in the racing conversation. So, IMSA was at VIR. VIR is the Virginia International Raceway in Virginia. It is an awesome track to race around, and it was the Michelin GT Challenge in VIR. So it was only the GT cars that were racing for this part of the championship race. And, well, it was a pretty packed grid, to say the least. There was 19 cars entered into that race, and as it would seem to be, only 2 didn't finish. So 17 finishers, and, well, quite a lot of action going all around. One of the sort of championship favourite cars of Daniel Giancadella and Jules Gounon for the WeatherTech racing team finished 2 laps down off the lead. They just struggled with mechanical issues throughout the race and ended up off the pace, so they were at the back. But GT Pro was led and won by Antonio Garcia and Jordan Taylor in the Corvette, who obviously, well, Jordan Taylor is not going to be racing with Corvette next year. He's going back with Daddy in the Acura ARX 06, which is going to be good to see him back racing for Wayne Taylor. And, well, being with his brother again, that's going to be interesting. Jack Hawksworth and Ben Barnicoat finishing second in the Vassar Sullivan bright green Lexus, 2 seconds behind the lead.
I've heard he's a bit clingy, isn't he?
Who?
Ben Barnacle.
Yeah, you're funny. It's Barnicoat. Get the name right, Mike. Get it right. He's British as well. You can't say that. Not fair. Yeah, he's not. But Brendan Sellers and Madison Snow finishing in third, 17 seconds down in their BMW M4. Well, no, it wouldn't be an M4. Madison Snow. No, that was a Porsche, I believe. Paul Miller Racing. I'll need to actually check that one. Gallagher and Foley in Turner Motorsports BMW M4 finishing fourth. Russell Ward and Phil Ellis finishing fifth in the Windward Racing AMG. And Bill Oberlin and Charlie Hull, finishing sixth in the second Turner Motorsport car in the M4. Frankie Montecalvo and Alex Tellitz in the sort of Vassar Sullivan second car, which is their just GTD entry. And PJ Hyatt and Sebastian Prio, who's a British driver, in the AO Racing Rexy, or sort of pink Rexy for this race as well. Brendan Aribe and Shandorf in the Inception Racing McLaren finishing P9. And in 10, we've got Metney and Kevin Van Berlo and the Kelly Moss with Riley Racing team as well. So pretty solid racing all round. Obviously there's still some more cars to go through, but you know, they didn't finish in the top 10, so they don't get the major points. Oh wait, I can tell you right now exactly what the car was. P3 Madison Snow was in the M4 GT3. I was right. He's not really used to that. But the fastest Porsche was PJ Hyatt and Sebastian Prio in the AO Racing Rexy as well, which is quite interesting. Porsche been struggling all season, getting really nerfed essentially out of the GTD Championship, and there's a bit of a conversation about that I want to have at the end about BOPs. I think that's a good idea to chat about BOPs and everything going on there. But Lexus having a really solid run, finishing obviously P2 and P7. Pretty good for them. Gradient Racing was the highest finishing Acura NSX GT3, and they were down in 13th. So that car was struggling a little bit. The highest placed Aston Martin, however, was the Heart of Racing team of Ross Gunn, who is Scottish. Love you, bro. And Alex Ribier of Heart of Racing team. Aston Martin just didn't. They've been nerfed out of the championship as well this season, and I've got a lot to answer for. But Corvette, once again, taking the win because Corvette are overpowered. So that is a lot to talk about with VIR. It's an awesome track. The conditions were very warm for the race, so a lot of people were struggling with tyre wear throughout the race as well. So interesting for those front engine cars, which, well, they're going to be leaned on quite a lot, especially going round VIR. It's a lot of corners around there that, well, a lot of wear is going to happen from. So very interesting to say the least. Now that's all I've got for VIR. I'll see you again soon. I love VIR. But we're going to move on to Mike with all the British racing. I'm going to go and quickly just close my door while you chat.
Yes, we've had British touring cars this weekend, bank holiday weekend at Croft. I did watch it, but found it really boring, unfortunately. I'm going to cough. That's why my voice went funny then. Anyway, Dan Cambridge converted pole in race 1 to an all-away victory from, what's his name? Dan Robotham. He was in second and Ashley Sutton third to make it an all motor-based performance Ford Focus podium. Race 2 saw Ingram in a Hyundai from Sutton, and Jake Hill in the BMW was third. Rory Butcher and Toyota Corolla took the win in race 3 with Aaron Taylor-Smith, who I met about this time last year, I think. At Open Park, I had a good chat to him. He was second in the Vauxhall Astra, and Adam Morgan in the BMW took third. Nothing really to report on the race. There's a couple of skirmishes and what have you, but overtaking was limited, I shall say.
Croft does that to racing, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's not many overtaking places. It is a fast track, but overtaking's limited in it. But
one of those sort of one of those qualifying tracks, isn't it? You got to do quite well in qualifying to really secure your spot in the race.
So what it is like the UK version of Monaco.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. Could say that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you
could. It reminds me of, like I said before we come on air, it's very scale electric-y.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of one-line corners sort of thing.
Yeah. And much was the same with the British Superweight bikes as well at Cadwell, for round 8 of the British Superbikes. But quite entertaining, actually. I've had a nice little racing weekend because we had the F1. I've had the British touring cars and the Superbikes, so it's been quite entertaining, really, this weekend. Anyway, British Superbikes, great race 1. There was dry conditions despite rain all day on Saturday. Yamaha's Ryan Vickers took pole and the whole shot, but within 2 corners was taken by Glenn Irwin on a Ducati. Light rain fell on lap 3, but didn't make much difference. Speeds obviously slowed down a little bit, but by half distance, Irwin with the Yamaha's Ryan Vickers and Cal Ride, they pulled away and secured the podiums. Irwin took the win, Ride second, Vickers third. Yamaha's Jason O'Halloran was 4th, and championship leader Tom Bridewell was 5th. Race 2, so BMW's Leon Haslam on pole, but he lost the old shot to Ryan Vickers who lost the lead and his bike on lap 7. Lap 10 saw Lee Jackson on a Kawasaki take the lead from Haslam, who went wide and the next bend to allow Kyle Vickers into second. Ryder led on the final lap, but by turn 1, Glenn Irwin had blasted past him to hold on to the win. Irwin took the win from Ryde O'Halloran. Can't read my own writing. Haslam 4th and Bridewell was 5th.
All right.
Race 3, Haslam again on pole and held the lead until lap 4. Ryde and Irwin got past lap 8. Saw Irwin take the lead. Tommy Bridewell was patient and he made his way through the pack. And his persistence paid off when he saw him take the lead on lap 16, and there he stayed for the win. Bridewell, as I just said, took the win. Irwin 2nd, Haslam 3rd, Ryde 4th, and O'Halloran was 5th. That was British Superbikes.
Thank you very much, Mike. Any discussions about that, do you think?
No, there's just a few slide offs on corners. No real big crashes. I don't think there's any injuries as such. Jack Kennedy, who broke ribs previous round, he come off just a normal slide off on a corner, and obviously damaged his ribs again. But that was about it, I think. There was more action in the 125s. Well, they call it something else now, but I'll always call it 125s. And the Super Sports, there's a few big high-sided crashes in that, but I don't think there was many injuries. None to report. There wasn't any reported anyway, so
yeah, easily done. Thank you very much, Mike. We're gonna move
no
on.
problemo.
We're gonna move on to the IndyCar results with Sambo. Sam, obviously I know you didn't watch the race, but you've got the results for us here. Just fire us up the top 5 for
Sure
the race.
thing. Your winner was Scott Dixon. Followed Pato Ward followed him, and David Muller. What's the way of saying this? Malukas, yes. That was Alexander Rossi, and then Scott McLaughlin completed your top 5. Named Colton Herta was 6th, Alex Palou in 7th. I believe he's been involved in a little bit of drama with McLaren as
we're
of
gonna
recently.
talk about that in a little bit because that's quite interesting to say the least.
Rosenquist was at Felix Rosenquist was 8th, with Will Power 9th, and Marcus Ericsson rounded the top 10. Other notable names was Grosjean in 12th, Kyle Kirkwood in 15th with.
I mean, he took his maiden win this year in Long Beach as well, so he's got a bit of talent.
Then everyone's favourite driver, Stingray Rob.
Stingray Rob.
Stingray Rob.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, lady. Yes, my lady. Oh, that's Thunderbirds. Sorry.
Okay, Parker.
That's Parker.
Okay, Parker. I don't know if Jamie has touched down yet in Perth. He has flown all night from Heathrow to Perth. He phoned me just as I was about to go to my bed last night saying he was going to start a flight. I was like, well, have fun with that. I'm going to my bed. You've landed. Are you on the stand?
Oh yeah, I've finished that.
Oh, sweet. Well, have you got the F1 results for us?
Yes, I do have the.
Fire away, my friend. Go for it.
I'll give you one guess as to who won.
Oh, was it? I think. Hold on, let me think. Was it Logan Sargent? No,
Yes.
it's fucking Max Verstappen.
Maybe could have been Nigel Mansell.
He's Nigel Mansell. Anyway, fire away, my friend.
It was Max Verstappen who took the race victory at Zandvoort. That's 3 in a row for him at the Netherlands. It's also 9, I believe. 9 in a row. 9 of the last 12 races he has won. Fernando Alonso was P2 with the fast lap, so getting an extra point there. P3 was Pierre Gasly after Sergio Perez forgot he can't speed in pit lanes. Carlos Sainz was P5, Lewis Hamilton P6, and by 21 hundredths of a second, P7 was Lando Norris. P8, again, a mega drive from Alex Albon. P9 was Oscar Piastri, and rounding out the top 10 was Esteban Ocon.
Ocon. Nicely
The
done.
drivers not classified were Logan Sargent, who had a hydraulic problem, which caused his crash. Charles
Unlucky.
Leclerc, who had floor damage, and Guan Yu Zhou aquaplaned into the wall at turn 1, which caused the red flag. George Russell is washed.
Yes.
Officially washed.
Couldn't happen to a better driver, I'm not going to lie.
And one more notable thing, Liam Lawson beat his teammate.
Fair
Yep.
enough. On his
Considering
first
he only
debut.
had one practice session,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
one practice
Yeah,
session.
he was only 6 seconds off of Hulkenberg in P12 as well.
And can we just talk about the fact that literally last week he was literally like did a flip in a Super Formula car and is now now in a Formula One car and he's beat his teammate. Bit of a fuck you to Red
And
Bull. that.
likelihood is he will also be driving for AlphaTauri next weekend at Monza as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
which
So it's 2 weeks out for Ricardo then.
it could be longer because he cut a couple of ligaments. He broke, he snapped, which is nasty. That is painful, and that could be. It's not career ending, but it means that he could be out for at least a month. So that's not ideal, and he's going to be struggling when he gets back in that car. He's going to have to really use his other hand, which
I mean,
It's
it's not
ideal.
over. It's not over for Ricardo.
No, no. he
Really.
didn't get a fair shot. It's his first race
mean-
back in F1 this season.
I
so-
mean, for length of injury, because they're saying he might be back in 2 weeks. But I remember when I broke my wrist, I hadn't plaster on for 4 weeks,
yeah,
and it didn't knit proper. So then I had screws fitted, and it was another 6 weeks in plaster. So you don't know where it's going to go with him. Could be longer than expected.
exactly. And it's not ideal, considering this is his first chance back in F1. And it's been unlucky for him as well, which is not ideal. I mean, we all like a little bit of Danny Rick.
Yeah, and
feel
I
bad
do.
for him.
I use my favourite. He really is my favourite.
He's such a
Danny
down-to-earth
Ricciardo.
driver, and he's funny.
But you,
Smiling assassin, as he's called.
Yeah,
mm,
the honey
but
badger.
as you know, with ligaments as well, Jamie will know footballing and what have you. Them are a 6 week job, ligaments, and he snapped his. So I can't see it being 2 weeks.
It could be a lot longer,
It'll be longer than that.
which is quite sad. But I mean, look, Liam Lawson seems to be a good, ample substitute for the replacement. So I think we've got to be happy that AlphaTauri is giving him his shot. Red Bull's giving him his shot. He deserves it. He deserved the shot. I think, in my opinion, he deserved the shot more than Yuki Tsunoda did. The amount of effort he put in to kind of get where he is now. I mean, look, he raced in DTM thinking he was going to get a seat alongside Alex Albon, and then they decided nah. And
I mean, you got to take your hat off to him for bringing fresh faces in.
Yeah.
Because
And-
there's too many people bringing old ones back. All right, they did it with Ricardo, but
he really enjoys
it's
his
nice to see
he,
him.
he likes Super Formula though, so the chances are he's quite high up in that championship as well. So the chances are, if a Super Formula race collides with F1, is he going to take his chances at winning the Super Formula title, or is he going to try and just jump in an F1 car again? That's the question.
Just depends how much he likes money.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna switch over to the Xbox. I'll be back in a second.
yeah, it's no problem. So, I mean, the discussion would be, right, that what is his protocol? Does he do that or not?
Depends. Does he want the
Thing
money?
is,
Does he want
is
the
he
title?
actually? I was gonna say, yeah, is he going for title in Super Formula?
Well, he was pushing it. Let's have a look at the Super Formula statistics just now, because we don't cover Super Formula here. Super Formula standings. Let's have a wee look at the standings right now. Yeah, he's second right now. He's only 8 points behind the leader, of Rio Miata. So he could go for it, and the guy behind him is 2 points behind him, and Rio Hirakawa is 51 points, and that's fourth. So right now he has a chance. If he doesn't have another massive accident, he could get into it, you know. And I mean, Kamui Kobayashi's been racing. He's done a few rounds. He's 10th in the championship, and I mean Rio Hirakawa has missed only one round due to obviously racing somewhere else, which is, well, we all know it's WEC. You know, he races for Toyota, and he's only fourth. So the question would be, what's the place here? Because Lawson, right? He's had a few really good points coming in throughout the racing. Okay, he's gained a little bit of points here and there and everywhere, and he had a good points haul in the second last race. Then the last race, obviously, we saw what happened. But the championship leader didn't have a lot of points either. So looking at that, Lawson only gained 1 point, and Mayata got 8. And Nojiri, the guy behind him, got 23. So that's why it's ended up being like that. It's made it closer than what, you know, Lawson would have liked, and I guess Rio Miyata as well. Which is interesting because Miyata has not ventured out of the double-digit point scoring this season until the last round there at Twin Ring. So, questionables from everybody else, but, you know, Japan is an awesome place to race.
I go. This I know.
The big dilemma though is what happens if, say, Liam Lawson wants to do Super Formula and Red Bull have to, or AlphaTauri have to bring someone else. Who do they bring in?
I would say F1 would take priority.
It's part of their contract as a reserve driver.
I mean,
so really, he's made his mind up. Then he won't be doing this.
Which is a shame because, like, he is up for an opportunity here to win that Super Formula title, but he is also he's a Kiwi driver racing in Formula 1, which Finns will love. We all know Finns, but you know,
he could also end up at AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
So.
And the chances are, what is the likelihood that Tsunoda's going to stay with the team, since Honda's now essentially backed out of Formula 1?
No, they're going to Aston Martin next year.
Well, yeah, that is true. But, like, what about him? Where's he going to go to? Because he's not been performing. Very limited point scoring from him this season for Tsunoda. From what opportunities he could have had if he hadn't bottled qualifying. AlphaTauri is not a bad car this year. It's not a bad car. It's definitely not as bad as last year's variant. But what's the well, you know, Liam Lawson's come in straight away. He's proved his point that he can drive an F1 car quicker than his teammate and still manage to drive and finish a race.
Isn't AlphaTauri the slowest car on the grid now?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Well,
I thought that was the Haas that was the slow.
I wouldn't say it's the
Haas
Haas.
isn't slow. Haas is quick.
According to FIA, right? I haven't got my glasses on. Just bear with me. According to the FIA, AlphaTauri and the Haas are the worst two cars on the grid.
But I would disagree with that, because I think when they talk about that, right, these cars are all. I think these cars have become very track dependent. You know, they've managed to skimp enough budget into giving the car a little bit more downforce or a little bit more of a power unit upgrade, rather than going all out because they haven't got the budget to do so. Even though the budget cap is there for a reason, even though teams just ignore it half the time, it's an important step in the right direction, I think, but it's still not implemented correctly. In my opinion, they need to really monitor what's going on throughout the season. There needs to be, every sort of month, teams need to be playing their budgets right and putting the money exactly where it needs to be, rather than
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull and Mercedes.
Sorry.
Mercedes as well have been caught red-handed with small violations as well.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, I don't know. I haven't seen anything on them being caught budget cap problems, but
Apparently they were over the budget cap last year.
were they?
They were 20 or 2021, 22 or 21, I believe they were.
Well, good. I hope they get caught for it and pulled up the correct way and get points deducted.
I mean, it's more funny though when you think that the son who got him for Aston Martin Mace a tennis career is quite fun.
I laughed at that when I saw that.
Can't be
I-
any worse than tennis in his Formula 1, surely.
No, yeah, that's true.
But, well, what's laughable, right? They make these caps and what have you, but they're not prosecuting teams for breaching these caps, are they?
Red Bull was the only team that was prosecuted in some ways.
They didn't get
them.
prosecuted though.
They just
Got
claimed
a
it was
slap on
catering
the
bills.
wrist.
They got a slap on the wrist. and
Slap on
that
wrist,
wind
yeah.
Tunnel time.
They need to
So
be.
I was speaking to Tice about this last night.
Mm.
He was thinking they should maybe bring in something like BOP. So essentially, no one can work on their car until the weekend of the last race of the season.
Mm.
So you can't start developing next season's car until the last weekend of the season in December to give everyone a level playing field. And the only way they could really do a BOP is if we saw at Monaco when the cars got lifted up, the different flaws from the Mercedes, Ferrari and the Red Bull. The only way we could really do BOP is if the FIA say, right, you can have Venturi tunnels, but they have to be smooth, they can't be changed.
That is true. Or they have, or in
That's
some
another
ways,
way round.
the Venturi tunnels, that you have at the start of the season are the ones that you have for the rest of the season. You can't change the floor mid-season, like some teams have been doing.
How would they police that though?
But they can, because what happens is the drawings of
That's what the scrutineering is.
yeah, scrutineering, they'll check the whole car and make sure that everything, the specs of that car, are exactly what's been filed with the FIA. So it's the same
another thing
with
I think-
GTs. For GT scrutineering, when they test all the cars before a GT race, they make sure that the cars are following the correct BOP for that race weekend. So they get the data from the the ECU data, they get the MFD data, and they also check the car, the tire pressures, they check because there's a minimum for most race weekends, like Pirelli will put out and Michelin as well for IMSA and stuff like that, they'll put out specific, that they'll say, these are the tires, you cannot put them below this pressure, and you cannot raise them above this pressure. If you do, then you will get disqualified. It's as simple as. So they'll basically, and they can update that as much as they want, depending on the pressures, but it has to come from Pirelli or from Michelin for safe tyre running, and also to keep a level playing field. Because if a car's running with 21.5 psi and another car's running with 23.5 psi, the car with the 23.5 psi is most likely going to be slower than the car with the 21.5 psi because the tyre is harder, so it may not get the same traction in some places in certain tracks. So that's why they police it, and I think Pirelli do a good job of that in F1, but there needs to be more to the cars, if you get what I mean. There needs to, certain things need to be more policed. Like, how do we talk about deployment of ERS, for example, for cars that are maybe lacking on other areas? Maybe their ERS needs to be bumped up.
Sorry.
Maybe they need to be given a little bit more power for their ERS and the other cars don't, so that it creates closer racing. Or how about, in some ways, the turbo that's put in the cars as well gets limited for cars that are maybe a little bit quicker, and put a restrictor plate on the engines that's a little bit bigger. There's maybe less compression room or whatever to stop the engine from over revving and going quicker, because that's essentially what can happen with these cars when they're running at 13,000 RPM. You don't want that, and I think the BOP for F1 has always been shit, because they've always just said this is a guideline of everything we want you to build a car with. Here you go, have fun and enjoy spending a ton
Yeah,
of money
we
on
don't
the car.
care otherwise what you
Yeah.
do with it.
Enjoy spending all your money on this car because I don't care about it if it crashes. You know, that's my biggest concern. Anyway, because there's so much that needs to be done. The scrutineering needs to be more, harder on teams. And I think that's what it is. But, yeah. What about you guys? You think any differently, or?
No, I think that.
F1 is a little bit lax when it comes to their own rules about how everything works.
It's
But-
interesting, isn't it, Sam? Because they put all these rules out there, but then they don't know what to do with them. They feel like I feel like they've just gotten to a point where the rules are guidelines.
I mean, bear in
Mm.
mind,
Yeah,
there's
I-
something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
came up recent.
We-
Something that, yeah. Carry on, Jamie. There's a different point I
do
want to
agree
raise
with
up.
that, because we saw a rule in force yesterday with Sonoda getting a penalty and a black and white flag, right? For lunging at turn 3 on some car. I can't remember.
Mm.
But a few laps previous, Max Verstappen done that to Pierre Gasly.
And didn't get anything.
Yeah. Didn't
And
get anything.
didn't even get investigated at all.
It's just there seems to be like that level of shithousery that goes on in F1 that just there's multiple things now that I dislike about F1 that upsets me quite heavily, to be honest.
I was going to say, there is one thing I wanted to bring up, and it wasn't something to do with the actual thing, but if any of you have been reading the story about Felipe Massa,
Oh,
the
God,
08
yeah.
championship that's been going
Yeah.
on.
Jesus. I like Felipe Massa, but like why? Why is
I
he
don't
dredged
think he's
this up?
wanted to change. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he intends to change like the result, like overall, because that can't be
He
changed.
just wants
but I think it's-
compensation.
It
That's
can't
all
be
it is.
changed now.
Because in that way
Yeah.
round, if you change that one and you give him that championship, then that puts a complete asterisk on Verstappen win 2021, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we go through it all again. So the way I'm looking at it is, I've got a referee's practical exam on Sunday to become a professional referee.
Mhm.
The referee can change their mind as long as it's a football analogy, but apologies for that. But so I give a free kick and a yellow card to Mike's team, for instance. Right? I can change my mind before that free kick is taken.
Mm.
As soon as that free kick is taken, you can't change your mind.
Yeah, you can't go back.
You can't
on
blow the
yourself.
whistle. You can't blow the whistle again and go back.
No.
So as soon as, take 2021 for example, when Max got that trophy from the FIA at the award ceremony at the end of the year, he
Mhm.
is the world champion. That cannot change now.
Nope.
Just like 08 can't change. Just like Alonso
It's even
can't
mo-
win the
it's even-
2012 season because of whatever reason.
Well,
It's-
08, I think 2012 would have been a bit different had a certain other Brazilian at the time decided I just fancy taking off one of Red Bull's wheels. That's the only way that would have changed. That wasn't
Brazilian?
going to be changed by a decision. Yes.
Who do you mean by Brazilian?
Bruno Senna.
Bruno Senna. Yeah, that's true. I was just wondering. I'm just trying to remember which driver it was because Bruno Senna is a bit of an interesting case in Formula One. He wasn't what everybody hyped him up to be. But
I mean, the thing is, when you have a certain name, the
When you
amount
have
of
that
like
name.
yeah, it's a lot more
little
pressure.
Schumacher name.
Same with Schumacher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a curse to have that name, unfortunately.
Rosberg in a sense as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is true.
Verstappen.
Anything with-
Verstappen is yards ahead of fucking
His
Jos.
Yeah, Joss
Well,
was not.
the thing is, I was going to say, did he ever really have any cars that were good though in terms of like
What, Jos Verstappen
Championship
never
win.
caught fire in Germany.
But it's
I'm slightly late to the podcast, guys. Hello.
Hello.
we've kind of already covered most of everything.
Yeah,
so-
everything's been covered. We've just got discussions towards the end now. We've got ERC to cover now. Michael, have you got your Bible? Get your Bible
Oh.
open.
I
Start
never.
preaching.
I even take me Bible on holiday with me.
Before
know
we
you
get into that,
Yeah.
I had Porsche Cup throughout August.
Yes.
And Team Number 43 finished P3.
Congratulations.
Hey, nice one, mate.
So
Good.
Whoa.
I finished 8 points behind second.
Not bad, like considering
Hey,
that
good man.
really dodgy
man.
round in Alton Park where you were struggling for pace and traction?
Oh, Spa was my worst one. I had two P10s at Spa. Had I have been 2 positions higher, I would have been second in the championship. But yeah,
It's what it is.
It is what it is. But
It
you had
is what it
you had a
is.
solid run at Valencia at the start of the season, which probably set you up for the.
2 P3s, and then
Yeah.
I had 2 podiums at the end of the season as well.
Which adds up to
You've done us proud,
everything,
Jimmy.
So. No, you've done everyone proud.
I think that deserves a mention a bit further up the schedule than he has been tonight. I thought.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not gonna lie, I've only just checked. So.
He's just checked it now.
It
That's
finished
why,
last week.
because I was waiting for him to tell me what was going on, because I thought there was another round going on this week. I thought this
so
week was the last round.
there were only 4 rounds.
Ah, right.
but I'll run
Well,
through
I reckon if there's nothing much on this weekend coming, I know that
There is.
that I think Jamie should give us a rundown on that, because that's some feat that I'm quite impressed with that, mate.
I think we'll have a little discussion. So what we'll do is we'll chat about the ERC results, and then we're going to go into the Team Alba 43 discussions going on. Obviously, this is race week for the boys for the Spa 24. So let's get the ERC stuff, and then we'll do all the rest.
Yeah, round 3, Zandvoort for ERC this week. Some absolutely brilliant racing. I know you were on with me last night, Andrew. We had a rare old time, didn't we?
It was
But-
quite interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. But going back to Wednesday, managers, like I say, absolutely brilliant race. We had 2 safety cars. We had quite a few drivers with the track limits. 6 drivers failed to get clean racing points. But again, dominated. As if
That
I
was
think
impressive.
you guys that don't really listen to ERC much, but you'll recognise the name. MCL took yet another win.
Once
7
again.
out
Call
of
him Max
7.
Verstappen.
7 out, yeah. And he's driving a Red Bull as well, Jamie. So
Oh, fucking hell.
yeah, he took fastest lap, pole. No, he didn't. Sorry, he took pole and the race win. Fastest lap was recorded by Sierra, but MCL took the win. Debutant Soviet Mario, new name on the ERC podium.
Soviet Mario is such an awesome name. I like that name.
Yeah, he was second in the Alfa Romeo. Sierra, driving for Alpine, was third. My youngest, Ricky, was fourth, and his teammate in the Ferrari, Shaggy, was fifth. MCL increases his lead to 95 points to Verstappen with 46, and Master Bear on 6. Sorry, I'll go through that again. MCL leads the championship on 95 points from Master Bear, who's in P2, and Shaggy is in P3. Constructors, Red Bull running away with it, 32 points ahead of Mercedes and Aston Martin
That's crazy.
in third. Then we went on to the 100 on Thursday night. 3 safety cars, 7 DNFs, 8 penalties, clean racing point penalties, quite a few speeding in the pits, as we saw last night, Andrew.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But again, pre-race was dominated by MCL. But
So
with
the
last
one week
gap,
that I do commentary on him, he doesn't win.
we haven't come to that yet, Sam. We haven't come to that yet.
Who-
Oh.
I'm coming to that. No, he didn't win. He he was on pole till the last seconds, dying seconds, and Pasteleo took pole position away from him. He did take the fastest lap, MCL, but was Bird, who's one of the owners of ERC, was third going into the last lap. I think it was Dash Dappen. I'm pretty sure it was him. He spun out on the last lap, and Bird was 7/10 behind MCL on the last lap. He won by 0.02 of a second. Bird. It was amazing, an amazing race. It really was.
It's crazy.
Bird took the win. MCL was second. Rookie was third. Shaggy fourth. And
At least he
Exo
improved
with
from the last time I seen him. Wasn't his missus driving at least?
Rookie, yeah. Oh, that was funny. That was.
Why do you let his missus drive? We all know
He
that.
was late.
So apparently he thought he would get home in time.
Yeah, he was late.
So his
we asked
missus did qualifying and knocked out qualifying because Exo managed to beat him with no front wing.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. But yeah, like I say, quite a few DNFs. And then on to last night. Andrew will join me on comms.
Yeah.
We had 7 DNFs. We had 12 track limits pens, as well as speed in the pit lane.
It was.
But MCL took pole, fastest lap, and the race win from Pasteleo. MG Limited, another debutant to ERC, was third. Exo fourth, and Bird was fifth.
He's not. I still hold my hand up and say that I don't think he's a debutant. I've seen him before.
I've seen this. Is it? I've looked.
Would it be the pre-season stuff he was there for? I think it was.
I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was China I was racing him with.
In
I
the
was
100?
say it, it was the 100 and I overtook him twice.
Yeah, I've been through my Bible and gone to season 6. We're now in season 10, and he's not raced
So he's
in
not,
the league.
So he's
So
not actually raced in the championship, but he has he's taken part in some of the races.
He's been in the Discord. I bet
Yeah.
he's been in the Discord for 2 or 3 seasons, but he's not raced.
Really?
Mm.
I don't think he's been in for that long, but I definitely think he has been here.
I've looked it up. Yeah, October 2022.
That's crazy. So he's been here since October last year, and this is his first time racing.
Mhm.
Oh well, he's here now. I was just gonna have that because we've got a little bit of a discussion to have about that last night. I'm gonna pull up the stream, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. But if you've got anything else to talk about while I'm doing this, please do.
Yeah, but there's quite a few were in the stewards report last night, by the way, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have a wee chat about that because this, last night, if I was, leather leggings. She's cute.
Oh.
I can only see her ass.
Well,
though,
So what? I was listening
no
to
fringe
clips.
there.
Then you said you were going around looking at your clips, and then all of a sudden you're coming up with high-legged
No, I was
leggings.
loading up Twitch, and that was the first thing I saw. All right.
Bollocks.
Yeah, no, sorry, there's no fringe there, so you can't be interested.
Right. Leave me alone.
You can see what he's doing now.
Can you leave me alone? Yeah. I'm only doing.
No, unfortunately we can't. I may have been away, but yeah, nothing's
No,
going
we
to
can't
change
do that,
there.
can we, Sam? Nah.
No.
No.
Update from Alpha Tauri. We are delighted that Daniel's surgery went well and that he is now on the road to recovery. We hope to see him at the track again very soon, but until he is fully fit, we can confirm that Liam Wilson, who did a great job in difficult circumstances in Zandvoort, will continue to drive alongside Yuki, starting from our home race this weekend in Monza.
Hey.
What's it with AlphaTauri? Is it usually right when they drop a driver? Say this happened in 2017 when they dropped Kvyat, then they also lost signs. So every single race, AlphaTauri, which was then Toro Rosso, just had a revolving door of drivers, and they had a different pairing. I think 4 separate races in a row. It was different. First, it was Sainz and Kvyat. Then it was Kvyat and Gasly. Then it was Kvyat and Hartley, and then it was Gasly and Kvyat. Not Gasly and Hartley for the rest of the season. It's madness just how that team functions.
2016, Verstappen left Toro Rosso to go straight to Red Bull.
Every single time there's been like a mid-season driver swap, it has been at AlphaTauri, that team. Whether it's a driver being promoted to Red Bull early or a driver like an Albon Gasly situation, a 2017 situation, this year now with DeVries and Ricardo and Lawson and all that. Next thing you know, Yuki will not be driving in a race.
Yeah,
we
we
it's...
already
Ricardo
talked
hasn't
about that.
been dropped.
I know he hasn't been dropped, he's been injured, and that's an unfortunate circumstance, but they still have this revolving door. And I do wonder, in fact,
Struggle has
if
too many
Lawson starts beating Sonoda, if he keeps doing well, then they'll give Lawson a chance to race Ricardo then in a Grand Prix or something like that. But that team,
I don't know. It's
it's
interesting either way. I'm just going to pull up last night's stream for everybody to watch. If you haven't already,
No, you just kind of. It's just there's just gonna be a picture of a fringe somewhere in there.
yeah,
And a
piss,
water ball.
Watch your screens.
piss off. Right,
Yes.
I'm gonna grace your screens with this right now. So this was last night's stream. Hopefully it'll play. So this was EXO, lap 25 out of 36 laps, and he was chasing down MG Limited. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of background. He was catching very quickly, and I believe I'm catching this at the end of the first contact that had happened between the pair of these guys. And obviously they're fighting for a podium here, but I want to just watch this because I want everybody else's opinion. Because this last night, right, so here's EXO. He's pushing hard.
We're on board. We're on board with EXO.
Yeah, he comes down to turn one. Obviously, he's on the outside line. It can work because he's still there. He's still there. He's alongside him into this corner, right? He's still there, and bang, comes right across. There's contact, and nearly contact again. Now, this happens the next lap. So if I can just slowly, so where are we? We're 119. So if I can bring it forward again, because he was getting sort of beat up, to be honest, in this position. He kept trying and kept trying, but every single time he went to make an overtake, MG Limited would come right across him and tap him and wheel bang him and send him off or send him wide. And I can understand it's hard racing, right? But I want your guys' opinion. Are you guys watching the stream right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can sort of bring it forward to the next period of contact. So this was Wallace under pressure from Iconic behind. I want to see. Come on, give me the EXO drama, please. Yeah, so he was chasing down here. There wasn't contact at this point, I don't think. Right, we'll watch from here onwards. But when there's physical contact with a car and they're battling for position, right? And it happens more than once. What's your opinions on this? Right, because this is going to happen again. I know X will drop back a little bit throughout here because he was, he was still pushing, but he didn't want to get killed at this point in the race. Because it happened. I think this was nearly the third time. He went in for a lunge at that corner, and he was still there. He had the right to his line, and he was getting cut off. Like, he wasn't even.
It's the responsibility of the driver in front
look,
only to move
wide.
once, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This corner is such a weird one, right? So what was happening is, look, he's taking the inside line. But before that, EXO was getting punted around by him in that corner. So I'm going to see if I can go back a little bit, because that wasn't it. That was Pasteleo. MG Limited. Still there. Right, Pasteleo. So we're coming close to where the contact started. Because, it's the responsibility of the driver in front to make sure that they're safe, right? Because Pasteleo and MG Limited were having a battle, right? And this is ultimately what we talked about last night, was that MG Limited, obviously he was on all track, like he had medium traction, I think, during qualifying, but then turned it off. And was like really slow throughout mid-corner because of that. It was very wet last night. The rain didn't let up in the race at all. Look, here you go. This was one of the positions as well, because he's down the inside. He holds his line. He's still there. He's actually made the move, but because MG Limited has managed to make it past, he's holding on. He's there. EXO's dropped back. Hyconic's in the move. So it must be the next lap where it starts.
The F1 game needs actual dynamic weather, not like the oh it'll flash on screen when it starts raining. Like we need like an actual weather system.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one thing I commented on. I think I don't know if I mentioned while I was on stream with you, Mike, but we need an actual thing with seeing sort of what we think the weather might do, just to make
Yeah.
it somewhat interesting. Because we
Yeah.
don't get that with the spectator camera. It's been the same for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's tyre wear and things like that I'm interested in as well. But like the weather, yeah,
Like this was
You
such
know,
an awesome
well,
run Exo had on this straight.
yeah,
here. He goes round the outside.
you just see this and then I'll make me point. But
Yeah. This was the same one that we watched before, I think, but I want to view it again. Because, you know, he's still there and then bang, comes right across. Now, there is a period in that, right, where there is contact that like is obviously made, right? It's only wheel banging. At what point do we say no to that? You know, at what point do we say?
I mean, when
no?
you
'Cause
start
it
coming
happened
across
multiple
someone is I
times.
think when you actually when you start coming across someone multiple times, I think should be saying, well, this is a bit more than
Because
what you think is
I honestly
acceptable.
thought EXO would have put in a report last night, to be honest. Unless he did. But we're not
I
going to
don't
talk
know.
about it.
I don't know, and I won't know until the stewards report is out, which I know they're taking a while over it. I think they are discussing these incidents that we're showing now. Not 100%, but I won't know the outcome until the steward report will be out, which will be tomorrow,
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, which is a good thing
But
because we don't need to know.
you've also not put in. We did comment on about that last night. Is coming down the start straight? He weaved.
He did, yeah. He made a move. So mid corner, he went white. He decided to move to the left, right, and then he moved to the right to defend, and then as EXO was alongside him, he moved left and cut him off as well, which is quite serious as well, because that's in the braking zone and it's fucking wet. So there's no excuse there. I think that's quite a serious incident that needs to be discussed, because you can only make one move, and as soon as the driver comes alongside you, you can squeeze without making contact, but you cannot hit that person. You hit that person, you are fucking dead. The stewards will have you for dinner. You know, I don't know. I think from my point of view, like that needs to be talked about in further detail within the stewards room, not with us. So we'll just leave it there. But what an awesome race last night. I think what did we have? Only 4 DNFs.
Hang on. We had
'Cause there was a disqualification.
DNS.
There was
We had 6.
6 last night.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like
No,
that.
we did. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
No.
We had 6. We had 6.
We did have 6. Who all got
Yeah.
Who all? Because Minden got disqualified. Panda DNF'd. He went into the pits to DNF. Who else DNF'd?
Gas crashed. Rally
Yeah.
crashed. Casper DNF'd.
Yeah.
And Ricardo.
For Ricardo as well. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I remember that one. Okay, quite interesting then, to say the least. That was everything added up in that moment, but that's where it is.
Oh, Wolf as well. Wolf
Oh,
went
yeah,
out
I
the last
saw
lap.
his crash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a serious
7.
incident as well.
7 DNS.
So, you know, quite a productive week in ERC. We're moving on with the calendar now. The championship standings are pretty close still, except from MCL. Obviously, 3 wins in a row in Sundays, which is,
Yeah.
you know, it's not unheard of. We've seen it before with Stuart, may he rest in peace. And,
Yeah.
you know, this is a driver now that's coming out of, you know, a shit game and coming into a decent one and is flying. It's going to
But
be
this,
it's going to be a good
in
championship
2
for
weeks'
him.
time, could all change.
Yes, it could.
Contracts, every 5 races, there's a contract for each driver
Well, not on
to get.
Sundays.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Sundays.
Oh, sorry.
Where did you get?
No, sorry.
I was gonna say it's not managers.
Oh, sorry. Cross lines. No.
Yeah, we're talking about Sundays right now because that's what I know. Don't interrupt me again, bye.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's going to be a productive season for, well, essentially McLaren with MCL. He's very aggressive up the top of the pack. He is McLaren, isn't he, this season?
Yeah. No, Red Bull.
He's not Red Bull.
Manages his Red Bull.
Yeah, but he's not.
Oh, Sunday. Roundabout Sunday.
We were just talking about that. Where's your mind
Alfa
going?
Romeo.
I mean,
It's Alfa
Romeo.
Romeo,
what was
yeah.
I sometimes think Mike has short-term memory. We just
Oh,
don't.
he's like a
You get my
goldfish.
age. You get
Can
my
I-
age.
Do you reckon I could put you in my fish tank back there, and you'd grow out, and then just like still have the memory of a goldfish?
You wouldn't want me in your fish tank, mate, because at night when you turn that light off, I'll be coming out of that fish tank and put my thumbs around your throat.
I thought you were gonna say something else there.
And I'll cut your fringe.
Don't touch my fringe. I'm only one that's allowed to touch my beautiful fringe. Cause,
I can't wait to meet you, mate. I tell you.
well,
Can't
so
wait
you
to
can
meet
touch
you.
my fringe.
Your fringe will be there when I've finished with it.
Fuck you, Mike. Anyway, let's move on to Team Alba 43. It is the week before the this is the week. This is the week.
The week
sorry,
off.
fuck. The week.
Can I just
What?
say what my aim is with you, Andrew,
Right.
is to, when we meet, to empty a full tube of Zeet.
No, that's not gonna happen. You can just like
Full tube of Zeet on your head.
no. If you do that,
Look
I
like
will
you got
hurt you.
alopecia.
I will hurt you, Mike. I
I'll run
do
off.
not care that you're over 50. I will hurt you. You think
I'll
you can
run
run
off.
away from me? I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I can run a 100 meters. Well, I used to be able to in 12.9 seconds. So piss off, yeah.
Why are you saying I could run 100 meters and then go? I used to be able to, which means you can't
Yeah.
run 100 meters.
I can run 100 meters. It's just probably not that quick anymore.
I
Not in a
reckon I
swimming
could
pool,
run
Andrew.
100 metres in 13 seconds now at 60.
You reckon? I'm still gonna
Definitely.
beat you up though. I'll win.
I am a ferret.
You're a
It's
ferret.
all right, Mike. He won't touch you if you wear green. Remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You
There's
don't
a
have a
point.
fringe, it's fine.
Yeah. He'll not see me coming anyway, will he? Can't see through his fringe, so.
Fucking hell! Let me chat about Team Alba 43. You bunch of
Yeah, go on, mate.
dysfunctional-
Anyway,
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Who's stopping you? Who's stopping
Classing
you?
up.
Go on.
Okay. Team Alba 43, it's the week before the 24 hours, and it is literally happening this Saturday into the Sunday. What an achievement the boys have put in with getting ready for this race. I'm extremely proud to see the work that these guys have put in. They know how much is at stake with themselves, and they've put a lot of time and effort into this. We've got one car entered, and Jamie has the lineup to display to everybody right now. Explain
Huh?
the
Do I?
lineup and your thought process behind it.
Do I? Ooh, fucking hell. I was not ready for that. Who's going? I can't remember.
Get it up, you idiot! You had it saved.
Get it up. Title of your sex tape.
Fuck you.
So, WRD Karma. Brad, Slate's son, will be starting the race for us on Saturday. Myself will be going as well as Raver. Slates will be racing alongside Brad from the same rig on the same account. And Scott is on standby as of right now because he may end up taking my place. So, I may have to pull out due to other commitments.
I mean, that could
but
also
I
be
will
a title
still
of your
be.
sex tape.
Yes, I'm
Carry
having
on.
a baby.
No.
Yeah, so I have things happening this weekend that some people know, some people don't. But we will see what happens come hopefully by Friday. Because if I'm not playing football on Saturday, then I will be there for the majority of the Saturday. So, yeah, it will be live I'll let you know. Actually, I forgot Daniel. Daniel's going as well.
Yeah, Daniel's there, you idiot.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Hello.
The German.
Daniel.
The German.
So as of right now, it is myself, Brad, Dave Slater, my cousin Tice, and Daniel, and then Scott, depending how many more laps he's done recently. But he has been putting the work in recently, so
Absolutely.
the likelihood is that he will end up driving with us on Saturday and Sunday, respectively.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think it's really, because my situation right now is that I really want to be racing. But
Stop!
I think
Shut
the only
up!
way
Before I change my mind.
Yeah.
I can actually get into this race is if you put because all the guys have also been putting in such a good job. I don't think it's really fair for anyone to miss out. if
It's
they
just
can
the
make
numbers.
it, so.
We can't have any more than a certain number, so.
Yeah.
Mike, can you stop spamming the chat with fringe?
Let me hit the button.
I really.
Mike,
Really
when
am
I
looking
see
forward
you,
to it, though.
when I see you, I'm really gonna hurt your balls. You're not gonna have any. I'm gonna squish them.
Daddy.
Nice.
I'm gonna get a meat tenderizer and just bah, 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 bah.
Nice.
You'll
I'd pay for that sort of thing.
Babe.
You sadist. Let's tonight we have Papa Champs returning to Hungaro. Well, turning up to Hungaro. I was gonna say returning. Last week we had a very, very shit time at Hungaro Ring when we were trying to do a social race. It was a pile of shit.
Some of you did. Some of you did.
Right, look. Casper killed me twice.
One.
Alright. He decided that day that he woke up and chose violence. I should have really put a pillow on my diffuser. Because the amount of times he wanted to bum my ass through my diffuser was insane. And I still hold a grudge to that. Because
I personally booked Mike into the opticians after that race on Monday.
why?
It was the last race for me in the wheel for at least a while.
I'm sorry about get to
If you'd
turn
let me-
two
if you'd
and
let
Mike's
me
on
know,
the
I'd have gone.
outside.
Oh,
And
that's
he
real
lets me
bad,
in,
Sam.
like I'm not there, and I'm spinning around, and then Andrew's smashing into someone, and someone else.
What do you
is
mean
off
I'm
the
smashing
track
into someone?
racing.
I'm getting fucked.
I mean,
And
we
then
also
I
had
spin
Gasper
and
as well,
die.
causing chaos.
But that's because I'm sitting there backwards on the racing line on
Oh,
lap
poor
one.
Scott.
Poor
What a
Scott.
shame.
I mean, it was
Boo-hoo.
probably
Fucking-
it was probably
Let's all
Boo-hoo to
chip
you.
in, get him a new dummy that he spat out for Christmas.
Yeah, and you know what? For him,
I mean,
just for
it
him
was
giving
more
him
funny
a
that we
blank
had
slip,
hearing
it sounds like he's got a little bit of cold around him, yeah? Huh? What
I
were
mean, it
you
was
saying,
more
Jim?
funny though, like Scott deciding.
You guys need me anymore because I need to go sort dinner out and then help Tice with Team Alpha 43
Of course, on you
final
go.
stints.
Bye, Jamie.
Don't think there's anything else.
See you
Right,
soon,
Jamie?
Jimmy.
Bye, Jimmy.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheerio, 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 cheerio.
All I'm gonna say, Mike,
Listen, your
is
leg's
we had the Great Wall of Mike at some point in that race.
Mike was defending for his life in that race.
I mean, he was put on pole just for the hell of being put on pole.
He did take the whole NASCAR aspect to an entirely different level.
Scott, I have beef to pull with you because you asked me to
Oh.
buy the new F1 game on the PC, and I have
Oh,
been
God.
losing my mind on it all day.
Oh
So,
God.
You owe me. You
Dear
owe
God.
me £36. There
Oh.
we go. Enough said. Anyway,
Because
we're gonna come to the end of this
Oh, it's
podcast.
all gone
Andrew.
quiet over there. Oh, it's all gone quiet over there.
No, me and Mike are currently just sitting here
Right.
with popcorn watching
what
you
are
two.
you saying?
Yeah.
What are you saying? What's your defense, Scott?
Well, I usually I told you to get the F1 on the PC if it was discounted or something like that. So
It was discounted. That's why I'm
for
saying
the-
£36
for the
because I've
purpose
been
of
struggling
the
to get it to work.
broadcasts and stuff, right? Because is it true on that when you're on the broadcast mode you can just control everything almost with your mouse?
Not really.
Like instead of
I
having
don't think
to
so
go.
on F1. It's not like
You had a
ACC.
moose.
On PC where you can, and iRacing where you can just sort of switch between things easily. I'll need to have a look into it, but I can't even get the game to fucking work because EA is being a cunt, and so is Steam. They don't seem to work
Oh,
together, so
is it like an anti-cheat thing?
nope. It just won't let me log in, so I can't play.
Ah.
I spent £36 in a game that I cannot play because Steam is
EA.
not letting EA connect the account up.
And we've even tried 2 accounts as well.
I've even tried it on the International Paddock one, which is perfectly fine, and it won't do it. So I need to figure out what account's actually connected to my Steam account, because I think one's already connected, and I have a feeling that it's the other account I have on Xbox that I use for watching porn. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
I
not.
don't think you
Well,
should be
it's
saying
well.
that. And
I can say whatever I want. It's an 18+ channel.
Trust me, the Papa Champ's Twitter account, there's more than one purpose for that thing.
What?
Followers.
No, but you shouldn't be watching anything on that. Anyway, guys, we're coming to the end of this stream, but stay around and watch this space, because at 8:30 tonight we are back at Hungaroring for essentially attempt 2.
Hungaroring.
But it's not attempt 2. We're going to have a little
It's
bit
not
of fun at
attempt
Papa
2.
Champs. It's the season race, the actual race. We're only 3 rounds away from playoffs day, so let's get this going. Look, I don't know how many drivers we've got tonight. I don't care. I'm going to turn up. I'm going to do commentary with Mike, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Speaking of playoffs, in NASCAR,
We're not
Or
talking
we
about
already-
NASCAR. Anyway, moving on. We're going to chat just a quick update on ERC. Where are we this week, Mike?
France.
France. Paul Richard. That's where we are. The El Castellet.
Paul
We're going to have a little
Richard.
bit of fun with that. And it's all the fun in the world. We'll bring you every bit of details of the racing going on this weekend, next Monday, 5 p.m. on the International Paddock Podcast.
Before we go, Andrew,
maybe
I'd
6
like-
p.m.
Yeah,
Right, I want
depending
you
if
to
it's
go.
Going away. Yeah.
I want you to go on and beat my TT time at France.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay?
I'll do that.
No, you won't.
I
No, you
will.
won't.
I'll win.
You won't do it.
Okay.
Not on
I
your
will-
first attempt.
Not in my first attempt.
Oh.
Okay. Challenge accepted. We'll do that later.
Okay.
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 Listen in, chat. It's been a pleasure being with you again this evening for International Paddock. This was episode 7. And, yeah, if there is a heaven, it is VIR. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one. Good night. God bless.
Bye.
Bye night. Bye.